Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earl Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earl Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earl Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union, and by Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm Insurance.
By Dive Shop and Dive Ventures nationwide. Jim Karras Chevrolet with George Gully. Napa Cafe Memphis and Glenda Hastings. Phoenix Unequaled Home Entertainment. For Memphis Magazine. The Live at the Garden Concert Series. And the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis. And by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Family owned and operated for more than 40 years. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earl Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome to Lansky's. This is Elvis Week, all week long here, and it starts today. And they've been packing them here at Lansky's all day. Hal's here. That's one of the big draws. Julie is across the hall at the ladies' Lansky store, and all is right with the world. We also have the biggest fan that I know of right now. It's Ronnie McDowell. He is coming to us from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Good afternoon, Ronnie.
Good afternoon. It's good to be with you.
Well, it's good to be with you. We got our connection a minute ago, and I got to look at you, and I went, wait a minute. You're the same age as me. What the hell's going on? But I will say this, that you're an entertainer. You're supposed to look better than me. I'm just a yacker, so we're doing the yakking part. But you were. I was looking at your bio. You were born in 1950. I was born in 1950. And I heard you talking about the first time you realized who Elvis was. You were 6 years old. Is that correct?
You know, I was actually, 6 years old. But my sister, Linda Sue, kept bringing home these records from Randy's record shop in Gallatin, Tennessee. And so I was listening to Hank Sr. and all these folks.
All country guys, though, right?
Yeah. Well, no. She was bringing home Fats Domino, Little Richard.
Yeah. Everything that was happening back. That was a great thing about radio in those days. Top 40 really meant top 40. It didn't matter if it was blues, R&B, country, Frank Sinatra, Fats Domino, Little Richard. If it was at the top 40, they played it. We all got a good sampling of the current music in those days.
Yeah, and my sister, like I say, she was a music, she just loved all kind of music. And one day she brought home Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel. Well, my mother, she was getting ready to go to work, and I apologize. Somebody called in. I thought we had the phone on Do Not Disturb. So can you still see me?
Oh, yeah, everything's cool. We're just ignoring that phone call.
Oh, okay. But anyway, my mother was getting ready to go to work, and she come in, and I hadn't even started the first grade yet. She took that needle off of that little old square record player, off of that record, and she said, "You ain't gonna listen to that no more." So she went out. She went out and got in a cab, and she went to work. And so I turned the record over. It was "Don't Be Cruel," and I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't been the same since.
The interesting thing about that is first time I ever heard Elvis Presley, I was walking down the alley. I was living in Odessa, Texas. I was 6 years old. There's a guy working on his car, had one of those lights on a hook under the hood, and he was listening to his transistor radio, and he goes, "Hey, kid, you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You know who that is?" I said, "No." He said, "That's Elvis Presley, and that's him singing, 'You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog.'" He said, "That guy's going to be big." So I go home, and I tell my mother, Elvis comes on the radio on top of our refrigerator. I said, "Mom, you know who that is?" She goes, "Yeah, that's Elvis. But how do you know?" I said, "I saw a guy. I know a guy. He told me he's going to be big." And he was right. He was big. But
yeah,
that was the beginning. And, isn't it amazing? 2 6-year-old kids, different parts of the country, hear Elvis at that young age. And you knew there was something different about him, even the little kids.
Yeah, I never will forget. he came on the Dorsey shows, February of '56. And my sister said, hey, you know that guy that you like? I've been bringing those records home. She said, which one? She said, that Elvis Presley guy. I said, yeah, what about him? She said, well, he's on the Dorsey shows tonight. And so I sat there and Elvis came on, and this is exactly what I said. I looked at my sister when he walked on, and I said, she loved Little Richard. And so all I know her by is Tootie because she loved Tutti Frutti. So all I know, I have never called my sister Linda Sue. I just, Tootie, that's all I
Tootie.
know. But anyway, I looked up at her and I said, Tootie, that guy's too pretty to be a guy. And that's the first thing I said when I saw him, first time I ever laid eyes on him. But let me tell you this, and I honestly, truly believe this. There was something about his voice. It wasn't just me. It was people all over the world. There was something different. It was just a little bit different, magical about his voice. It's hard to explain, but I live next door to a Texaco station, and the guy is from Turkey, but his name is not John. But anyway, but he's my buddy. So I go in and I say, so John, who'd you listen to in Turkey? He goes, Elvis. I said, John, come on now. He said, Ronnie, when Elvis died, we all cried.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it.
You know, I talked to the Barkays who are based out of Memphis, and they traveled the world. And they said, no matter where you went, you would see two things from America, Coca-Cola signs and pictures of Elvis. No matter where you went. And everybody, you mentioned, and having lived here since 78, you say you're from Memphis, and they go, Elvis Presley, immediately. So it is.
Oh, yeah.
This town is branded with Elvis and always will be. And you look how many years after his passing, and here's Elvis Week, and they're still coming. And now it's 3 generations later. I mean, he's been gone longer than he was alive. And yet.
Yeah, 48 years. That's just hard to believe. And, you know, life is so short. And it just amazes me how time just flies. It just totally amazes me how that you and I are now 75 and seems like we still all ought to be in high school.
Well,
I'm
only 74, Ronnie. I'm a little younger than you.
Oh, okay. Okay, then you respect your elders.
Yes, I will. I call you sir. What was it that you started saying you liked him so much that you got into entertainment and as a country artist, but then you became so involved over the years in doing his voice in different movies and love performing and entertaining people, and you do sound so much like him. And it must be a thrill to be able to stand in front of an audience and please them instantly because you do sound and even appear to look like Elvis, that it makes you feel like you're near the king.
Well, I'll be totally honest with you. When I did American Bandstand with Dick Clark and I sang The King Is Gone, the song I wrote about Elvis, it had only been out a couple of months. And I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Dick Clark called me and he said, Ronnie, there is a private jet waiting on you.
Wow.
You get on it. You get some sleep. You're on American Bandstand tomorrow. I never slept a wink. And they picked me up in a helicopter, and I landed right in front of the ABC lot. They rushed me straight into makeup. So I'm looking in the mirror, and here comes Dick Clark. And I went, wow, Dick Clark, I can't believe I'm here. He goes, Ronnie, you have sold 2 million records in 2 weeks. He said, you're number 9 and you deserve to be here. I said, well, Mr. Clark, I don't know this song that well because it's brand spanking new, and I'm so glad that y'all pantomime. He said, Ronnie, we don't do that anymore. You got to sing it live. I said, please don't tell me that. He said, you'll be fine. You'll have cue cards underneath the camera. I want you to know, if you Google me singing The King Is Gone on American Bandstand, I looked like I knew what I was doing, but inside I was petrified. But I made it through it. And the weird thing about it is, after I got through, not long after that, Mr. Clark called me and he said, Ronnie, I'm doing a movie about Elvis Presley starring Kurt Russell. And he said, I want you to be Elvis's voice. And I said, are you talking about that Disney actor? I said, Mr. Clark, he don't look nothing like Elvis. He said, well, wait till you see his screen test. He sent it to me. I was blown away. And I said, okay, I'm in. I did 38 songs in that movie.
Which I think it was a made-for-TV movie, and I think Kurt Russell did an outstanding job. And I was telling Gwen Smith, your friend who's in here at Lansky's with us today, that I think that was one of the best films on Elvis ever made. And I said, I didn't know until today when she told me you did the voice in that, singing and talking in many of the instances. But I thought it was a very good portrayal, and it was very well received.
Yeah, it was movie of the year, and it was seen by 42 million people.
Wow.
And I never will forget, in 1958, 2 years after I saw Elvis on TV, I became the biggest Elvis. That was my whole life, just everything Elvis. And so I lied to my daddy one night, and at the Liberty Theater in Franklin, Kentucky, I said, hey, Daddy, there's a monster movie on, and I want to go see it. And he said, what's the name of it, son? I said, I knew he wouldn't have a clue. And I said, King Creole. And I made it sound like a monster movie. And I want you to know, he gave me $1, and I got popcorn, I got a Coke, and I got to see Elvis 30 feet tall in black and white. And again, I've never been the same since. That movie affected me. He did like you would not believe. When he sang Dixieland Rock and As Long as I Have You and all those songs in that movie, I was just at 8 years old, but still to this day, I cannot believe I went to the movie by myself at 8 years old. But, you know, it was a totally different time. Everything was different then. But ever since I saw that movie, what if somebody had tapped me on my little shoulder and said, you see Scotty Moore and DJ Fontana up there? You're going to work with them for 40 years. You see those Jordanaires? They're going to be on your first #1 record. Older women make better lovers. I would have went, yeah, right. How could I have wrapped my mind around that? There's no way on earth that I could have wrapped my mind around that. But you know what? Fate is a hunter, and it found me.
Is it also just fascinating to me about how many people who were just fans before became even more so after he passed away? And it's like there was never a lapse in his popularity ever. And in fact, I think you've got kids that weren't even there. Some of their parents weren't alive when Elvis died. And those are the ones who are coming to Grayson and Memphis now. And they're not coming with their parents or their grandparents. They're coming because they love Elvis. They love his old movies. We're here at Lansky's. They got shots of jackets from his movie Speedway. And all everything about him still is popular. In fact, part of your career has also been made with the artwork. We've got so this is a painting you did of Elvis, and that was for would have been his 90th birthday. I mean, when did you figure out you could paint?
In the first grade, in 1956, I drew a big old red fire engine for my first grade school teacher. And I was already kind of dibbling with drawing rabbits. And I would sculpt these little animals like a giraffe and an elephant and all these little animals. And I found out I could sculpt things. And so my teacher would let me take my little paintings and my little animals around to the different classes. So that's when I started. I knew that, I think it's that right side of the brain, the arts and the entertainment.
Yeah, well, whatever side of the brain it is, I didn't get that because they'd say, all right, today we're going to draw something. And I drew whatever, a stick figure or something. They said, well, we're going to let you sing. And then they let me sing. And I said, well, you can't do that either. So can you talk? Which is pretty much all I had after that. We got some more. This is a self-portrait you did, which I think is pretty amazing as well. It really is. It's almost like a photograph. I mean, did you ever take art lessons?
I never did. Everything that I learned about art, it's kind of like, trial and error. And I just did a life-size painting of James Burton, who's one of my best friends. And I gave it to him down in Shreveport, Louisiana, and he started crying.
Wow.
Him and his wife both. And he said, Ronnie, you made me look so pretty. And I said, well, Jane, I tell you what, every time you look at this, I want you to make you feel good about yourself.
Absolutely.
And so I just did that. I'm working on a new Elvis painting right now. It's called The Jungle Room. I saw Blue Hawaii 28 times.
Wow.
I saved my lunch money. And I was flunking the 7th grade in 72, and my sister came home for Christmas, and she was valedictorian in 53, same year as Elvis. She's still living, 90 years old.
Wow.
And she came home and saw my report card, and she said, you're going back to St. Louis, and you're going to pass this grade. So there was a theater up there called the Oakmont or something like that. And I when Blue Hawaii come out, I saw it 28 times.
That's got to be like a record somewhere.
I know every nuance, everything about that movie.
Also, we've got one here that you did of Lansky's, which, by the way, you will be here on Friday from 2 to 4 at Lansky's, right where we are right now. And
Yep.
We've got a picture of your painting. Hal set it up a minute ago here in our studio area. It's Elvis on a motorcycle outside the old Lansky's at 126 Beale Street, which is incredible. Because there was no photograph of that, so that came totally out of your imagination, correct?
Well, actually, my youngest son, Tyler, and we work together on the art. And, we do kind of like Norman Rockwell, only it's a different day, different time, because he would find all these characters and he would pose them and take pictures and he would shoot and he would literally paint from those photographs. And we do it the same way today, but fortunately we have, the internet, so we don't have to hire actors. But anyway, I put a pair of sunglasses on a 1956 Elvis that he wore, just before he left us. And I told Hal, I said, Hal, I kind of did this as a joke. I'll take them off of there because, it's kind of like a time travel thing. Elvis went ahead and got him some of those glasses from 72, 73. And Hal said, no, I want you to leave it just like it is.
I like it, too. I think it looks great.
Thank you.
You're going to be here signing prints. I guess that could be one of the prints if somebody wants to buy it here at Lansky's at 2 to 4. That's this coming Friday. You're also going to be the honorary Duckmaster.
I am, and I'm looking forward to that because, let's see, Patrick Swayze did it. A lot of, wonderful people were able to do that. You know what I love about the Peabody is that I'm a history fanatic, and I love the fact that Elvis spent his high school prom right there, and the room that he had his prom in still looks just like it did.
Yeah.
I just love all that history. And when I come to Memphis Wednesday, I'm going to visit the movie house where Elvis was sitting when my friend Wink Martindale and Gladys and Vernon went there and got him out of there to go be on Dewey Phillips' Red Hot and Blue when he played That's All Right, Mama. And when they went to get him, he was watching a Western, and my buddy Wink Martindale just passed away.
Yeah.
And Wink was there that night. He was at the Chisca Hotel, and he stuck his head in there, and he said, Dewey, what's going on? He said, well, Sam brought this record over by this young boy named Elvis Presley, and Wink said, what kind of a name is that? And
Wink.
Dewey said, here's his phone number. Contact his parents, see if you can get him down here. So they did, and of course, the rest is history.
Wink was a super, super guy, great Memphian. Met him several times. It's a very, very nice man, and it's sad to lose him as well. You're also going to be at Hernando's Hideaway Saturday. You got 2 shows, a matinee at 4 and the evening at 9 o'clock. And so you got a busy time coming up here, but I thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us a little bit and just getting to know you. We're going to be out at the guest house on Friday for the candlelight vigil. So if you get through here and you come out to Grayson, come see us, and we'll put you on the show live. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're going to be out there at Hernandez on Saturday, but on Friday you'll be here from 2 to 4 at Lansky's.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to thank Gwen for everything she's done. She's got me on every television show in the world down there Friday. And, the first one's at 8:00, but I'm going to do it. I just had a stroke, and you can see the scar right there. It's healing up, but a blood clot formed, so they had to cut me back open and take it out. But I'm doing good. You know that old saying, you can't keep a good man down. But anyway, I want to show you this.
Sure.
George Jones called me, and he said, Ronnie, I want you to paint a picture of me getting a DUI on my lawnmower. And so I did for him. And there's me and my friend George, and I wouldn't take anything for that painting or my friendship with my friend George Jones.
Well, another good, great relationship and a great Tennessean and a great country artist. Ronnie, thank you so much. It was great meeting you and looking forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you, sir. And tell my friend Hal I said hi and I love him, and Gwen as well. Thank you.
I will certainly do that. Thank you. We'll see you soon. All right.
Thank you.
We are going to take a quick break and hear from some of our other sponsors. Then you're going to meet a guy that does a tour thing here in a 55 Cadillac. You're going to love this segment coming up, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union. We're the proud title sponsor of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show. Coming to you live from Lansky's in the world-famous Peabody Hotel and celebrating all of the great things about our great city, Memphis, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm so proud to be part of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show, streaming live from Lansky's from the Peabody. We will be showcasing not only Napa Cafe, but some great restaurants around town. We look forward to seeing you.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earl Farrell Memphis today, and we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Carey Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25, and I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm, and I'm so excited to be one of the sponsors for the Earl Farrell from Memphis show, broadcasting live from Lansky's at the Peabody. And I'll tell you all about what we've got going on at our office. Gift cards for quotes. No purchase necessary. I'm better looking than a lizard.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis, or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earl Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
Hi, my name is Jameson Totten, and I'm the director of Live at the Garden and the Radiance Amphitheater. And we're so excited for our 25th year of Live at the Garden here at the Memphis Botanic Garden. We've got a great lineup for you this season, so come on out.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wall, Director of Marketing and Communications for Memphis Botanic Garden and Live at the Garden. We've had Earl Farrell right along the way for the past 25 years, and we can't wait to talk more about the season this summer at the Earl Farrell for Memphis show.
So come out to Live at the Garden. Our first show is on June 21st.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hey, my name is Jake. I'm with Phoenix Unequaled Home Entertainment. I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of what I do here at Phoenix. I'm a sales engineer. A lot of the times we talk about home theaters, but there's so much more that we offer. We offer a lot of home security solutions, as well as water detection and everything. So if you guys ever need anything, give us a call. We'll get you guys fixed up.
And welcome back to Lansky's. We've got another guest in the studio, Tad Pierson, who is the guy that thought up American Dream Safaris, which is really a 55 Cadillac that is authentic 55 Cadillac. And welcome to the show. Thanks, Earl. Hold on just a second. We're working on an audio thing. We switched from a Zoom. There we go. Let's hear you talk.
Can you hear me?
We do hear you.
Okay, now I can hear. I can hear a little bit in the headset.
We're in business now. In fact, I've got a picture of a car, and we're going to go to Don't Use button. Is that the one we're going to? Yeah. There it is. Oh. This is the car you actually started the business with. You inherited it from your grandfather?
That's my grandfather's 1950 Buick. He bought that brand new when he retired.
You know, the interesting thing is that Hal Lansky's, I think it was his father, he had a car just like that. It said black with a red leather interior. Beautiful car, because I did this video biography for the Lansky's, and Bernard had this incredible Oldsmobile was a huge car, and after I saw this, I said, they stopped making Oldsmobile altogether like in '88. Why? I have no idea.
That Oldsmobile. This is a Buick.
Oh, it's a Buick, okay.
1950 Buick. And Earl, I'm looking at a picture on the wall here at Lansky's, and there's a picture of a 1950 Buick, black and white, but it looks just like this one. But I don't know if you're an old car guy.
Oh, I love old cars.
You see the holes on the side of the hood? There are 4 of them on mine. And on the Lansky picture, there's 3 holes. So mine, my grandfather's Buick was outranked it. Don't tell Hal I said that. But this is a Roadmaster, and the 3-hole was a super or special.
It looks in mint, and that's how you got it. It was in mint condition.
That's about what it looked like. But I painted it and covered the seats, and but the engine's original. Kept it all original.
And then this is a picture of the car. This is the car you're driving now.
That's my workhorse. That's my 55 Caddy, and that's the one I just got done with a tour about 30 minutes ago.
The thing I like about that, I think is so cool, is because there's all kinds of different venues that you can tour Memphis and all the things Elvis. But this is such an intimate thing because it's you, maybe 2 or 3 other people in the car. Right. And it's you talking to them, and it's the same exact way when Elvis used to drive his friends from Hollywood and everywhere else in the world around Memphis to show his hometown. You're doing the same thing.
You're right. And I think I've been in the tour business for about 30, 35 years, and it's often been said, get out of the Cadillac, get a white van, get a passenger vehicle, And part of the cool thing about riding around in the Cadillac is we pull up to a stop sign, the windows are down, and people yell out, "Hey, is that Elvis's car?" And so you're forced to be in the experience.
It is the experience. I've got a picture up right now driving down a residential street. Yeah. And my grandfather had a 19...
Boy, you've picked out some nice pictures.
Well, I got them off of your site. You don't put them up, I won't take them down. But it must be just a thrill for the people. What is the reaction when, first of all, they call you up and book the thing? They go, do we really get to go in a 55 Caddy?
Well, I think that's obviously what stands out when you do a Google search on any town and there's a list of tours. If one of them is in a vintage 55 Caddy, it's like, hey, let's look into that. So it definitely is my calling card, and that's what kind of differentiates me. But I'd say just the experience, there's little gestures that we do now in the modern world, but people get in my Caddy and they reach up for the seat belt, and it's not there, or, there's no headrests and there's a high ceiling and the windows are down, so it's a lot more leg room, and, it's your viewing is got a, better view, and it's a different environment than the typical car that we are used to riding around in these days.
And are you a purist? Is there air conditioning in this car?
How you been doing, Earl?
That's what you tell me.
August 5th, or 11th, it's a little bit warm out there. Can I tell my secret on air? So let the world know.
You can say anything you want.
The 1950 Buick is the original straight 8 engine, and I love that car. But I often realize, wow, if I blow a water pump or if I lose something, it's going to take. You can get those parts, but it's going to take a couple of days.
Yeah.
So when I really got serious about this tour business, I said I'm going to get me a mid-50s car. I'm going to put a 350 Chevy motor in it and a turbo transmission, and so the guts of it are a modern working engine. And then, the exterior is just, a 55 Caddy.
Yeah.
So I can get parts off the road. But the air conditioning unit was one thing, the one expense that I just didn't go for, and so I'm riding around with no air conditioning.
But
so
you know what,
it's an authentic experience.
And I'll tell you something, why I like that is because so many of us grew up without air conditioning.
Right.
And I remember our 55 Chevrolet Ford station wagon, and it had no air conditioning. And later on, we did the install under the dashboard.
Yeah, right. Well, that's.
And but I can remember going from West Texas to Houston with no air. We drove at night. It was cooler.
Yeah.
But it beat you to death.
Yeah. Well, I have, done Mississippi Delta tours and taken people over to Tupelo. And, this car cruising around the streets, morning tours, 4 windows down. It's really quite comfortable. But trying to do 75 miles an hour on the interstate, it's your wig's going to get blown off.
Well, I don't think you want to do 75. I wouldn't get on the interstate just because you got a very valuable car.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't do that. And I've been to the Shack Up Inn down in Clarksdale.
Yeah.
And they say that there are people that come from Europe that want to sit out on the front porch and not use the air conditioners that are in those shotgun houses because they want to feel what it was like living in the South in the summer, drinking beer, mosquitoes eating them.
Well, that was the reality of life.
It was.
For that time. Probably up until the 70s, maybe. I mean, air conditioning obviously came in, earlier, but that was the real experience.
I remember my grandmother got one of the first air conditioners I ever saw, and it was a round cylinder. You put it in the passenger side window and rolled it up.
That's right.
But this person sitting on the passenger side front seat, their ear froze off because it was blowing right on the side of your head. But funny. I think that it was a genius idea, though, coming up with the tour vehicle. And I think people would much prefer to pay more to have a private tour with somebody who really knows their way around Memphis. And you take them not just to all the fancy places, you take them to juke joints and small little out-of-the-way places.
From the back roads of America to the downtown neon of Saturday night. That's what I like to say. So, I think the one thing I sort of insist upon in my philosophy of tourism, but going in with a small group, you can go to a small club, you can go to a diner, you can go to a real smaller experience and not upset the cultural dynamic.
Yeah.
You roll in with, and I step on tour buses, and I'm a tour guide for step-on guide for tour buses. It's a little bit different riding around town in a 40-passenger bus. You can't get quite as intimate with the city. But and the other thing is, people know my caddy now, and I know their stories that are on the sidewalk, so we can pull up. I introduce them as they're my best friend, and we get a little story from them. So I can offer a personal experience.
And it really does happen because all these people do live here. It is Memphis. I remember I was giving some people that were from Texas in, and we'd gone to Graceland, we'd gone to Sun Studios, so we're down. I went to show them the arcade restaurant. And I'd just been telling them about Prince Mongo. And so we're driving down Main Street there, and all of a sudden, there's Prince Mongo. I rode down the way and said, "Hey, Prince." He said, "Hey, Spirit, how are you?"
Hey, Spirit. I love that saying, man. That's cool.
But that is Memphis. And for so many people, and I moved here in 78, and so I can testify that it is true. There's nothing fake about Memphis.
Right.
No, I mean, so many places
that differentiates us.
They come up and they it's like Disney World. There is no real Disney World.
Right,
there was no Magic Kingdom.
Right.
They made all that up. In Memphis, all these places existed. Many still do exist. And you can go there, and it is real. I mean,
right. Well, I like to take Beale Street, for example. A lot of towns have a party district or a restaurant district, and it's a street that had warehouses, but it didn't have any historical context to the music. Beale Street was the footprints, the fingerprints of the real deal guy, the heroes are down there on the street. It's not a fake, artificial, reinvented street.
Not at all. Is there like one particular place that, obviously Graceland, but is there any other that you just started putting in your tour that people are kind of wowed by?
I like to say that I think, my opinion, but in Memphis, music is our brand. I mean, that's we have FedEx, Holiday Inn. A lot of heroes have done they invented their ideas here, but what draws people, if you go to around the world and you say you're from Memphis, they say, oh, Elvis or the blues or B.B. King. So I've really done searched out in the city, juke joints, blues clubs, Wild Bills, day in, day out. Every Friday and Saturday night, it delivers the goods. And they're getting kind of few and far between, so I think they're worth preserving.
Absolutely. I'd heard at one point that Memphis sold more quart beer than any other city in America because of the juke joints and because that's just what Memphis does. And it became popular, and everybody wanted a quart beer.
Right. They're kind of hard. I think they've gone down to 32 ounces now. But that's the drink of choice.
I guess the thing that everybody loves about Memphis is when they come here is that you could drive down Main Street, you can go to Graceland. Although across the street at Graceland, that whole shopping center has totally changed from when I first got here. There was a TV repair shop, there was a laundromat, a cleaners. It was a regular shopping strip. Hold on just a second.
Strings and things.
There you go. Yeah.
I think there was a legendary guitar shop in a strip mall across the street.
And then down the street, Marlowe's barbecue place, that's the only restaurant that's original to that time period. It's still there. Area. In fact, I saw the young lady that her and her husband own it just the other day at Bill Morris's funeral that started there.
Huh. The Gridiron restaurant was down there. That was like a 24-hour diner. It's gone.
There's still places around like the arcade. In fact, Elvis has got his own booth at the arcade, and you can go there and sit there, and it has his nameplate in there.
No, it's got it still has an authentic feel to it, and that's the beauty of Memphis, really, is that. And I feel that in offering up my tours, that I'm not pretending to take you to an Airzat's, Johnny Rockets, or a diner or something like that. It's the real deal.
So how does it work? That people hire you by the hour, or do you have a set tour?
I've sort of, over the years, it's sort of settled into a half day and a full day. I can do an hour tour if that's what you want. But half day, I pick you up at 9 o'clock at your hotel, or typically meet at the Fountain at the Peabody Hotel. And that's a nice space to meet, take about 10 or 15 minutes to get to know each other. What are you here for? What's going on? And I can suss out with my customers within a few minutes. Are they Elvis fans? Are they more blues fans? What are they interested in? And so I would say that every tour kind of is a custom tour, customized to the individual.
I mean, are there some people that say, I want to see what the nightlife is like, and so you don't even start the tour until 9 o'clock?
6 or 7. Just the other evening, I call it the stroll down Beale Street, but we started out with drinks at Itabina up above B.B. King's, which is one of the coolest bars.
Yeah, I agree.
Susan Marshall playing piano up there. Have a drink, and and then just get down and stroll the street. You hear some good music. You walk in. Cover charges are cheap or non-existent, and tried and true bands. Free World, Earl the Pearl just died.
Yeah,
he was a legend.
We were trying to get him on, as a matter of fact.
Man, he was the real deal.
Yeah.
But Vince Johnson, Chris McDaniel, those guys are down there every night, and they deliver the goods.
Do you have proteges that you're bringing along to teach them the business? Because at some point you might want to take a vacation.
That's a real interesting question. I don't personally, in my business, have not brought anybody in. I've got some people that can do walking tours with me and things like that, but turning over the keys to the Cadillac, I haven't found anything like that. But I think that is an important part of our tourism ecosystem, in that there needs to be young people brought in and trained and understand the importance of this job, that you're an ambassador to the city.
You're a historian.
Telling stories, it's an important, and it's a fun job. So, I think maybe that's my next business venture, the American Dream Safari School of Tourism Management.
Well, if you don't teach them now, they're never going to learn it. Jimmy Ogle, in fact, who's the one that told me, you need to get a hold of Tad because he's one of the best there is, and he thinks the world of you.
Jimmy's the best.
Yeah. But he pointed out, what's going to happen when I'm gone. He referred to me, said, when you're not telling the story of the history of Memphis and introducing to people like Tad, I mean, it really does you have to congeal all these elements in order to keep the whole story going.
That's true, and I'd say from my personal experience, I don't know if this is true with you, but I don't want to say nobody taught me, but it was just in a subject matter that I wanted to learn. So it didn't. Yeah, no one said sit
like
down
you
and read.
Set out to be a
read
tour
this
guide.
book, and now I can interpret that book and do a tour. I just absorbed all this material, and I was lucky. I got to, when I rolled into town, Elvis was gone, but there were still guys living that knew him and told just would tell little stories. So that now when I'm on tour, I can tell the story that I heard from a guy that heard it straight from
or
Elvis.
Or as Hal Lansky says, shake the hand that shook the hand.
Yeah. Well, Bernard Lansky is a perfect example.
Yeah.
It was always a treasure to come into the store and get a little razzmatazz from Mr. Bernard, and it was, so I think if you are going to get in this game, this business, it's not going to be a quick study and now you can go out next Saturday and start giving tours. You might be able to, but the more you give them, the more you learn, and the more you realize that the tour route sort of dictates what the stories are.
And the great thing I like about it is because I have all these stories. I've been here almost 50 years. And they're the same story, but I never tell the same story twice the same way. And new things come along. You find out something new you didn't know before. And that all becomes part of the story. But it is, I think what you've done is really created a great concept of tours in Memphis. And I think it's so personalized. And I think you're good for as long as you want to go at this.
Well, I think it's something I can continue to do until my voice gives out.
Well, you're smart. You keep the tone down low. You don't yell a lot.
Yeah, right.
Save the voice.
Right. You know what? The other thing is, this is my secret. Don't let this out. But lots of times it's letting the customer talk.
Yeah.
Because they've got a story that they want to tell the world about meeting Elvis or how Elvis influenced them, or how the blues affected them, or whatever. So I have certain big softball questions like Earl, what would you say was the big moment in your life when Earl Farrell really stepped into it? And people love those kind of questions.
Well, they talk about themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You're done with the rest of the trip,
right? That's insider's trick there. So.
Well, I think it's fabulous. Tell people how to get. I know the name of the company is
American Dream Safari. Right now, I'm using my Facebook page pretty much, but over the years, I've had a lot of publicity. So if you Google 55 Cadillac Tour, or if you know my name, Tad Pierson, you can find me. I just think in this electronic world we live in, I don't have a website right now, but I've got a Facebook page, American Dream Safari.
As long as they can get a hold of you, you don't need a website.
Yeah.
Basically, they want a phone number. It may be an email,
right,
or a text,
and then they will text me, and that's how. And I'm also, been in it long enough now that I get a phone. Hey, a friend of mine took your tour 5 years ago, and they told me if I'm ever in Memphis,
Well, I would think that would be a huge thing, word of mouth from people who have been cut, and you should put some testimonials on your Facebook page, because that helps sell it. But the other thing I think is that the personal aspect of it. You're with one person.
Right.
You're the one guy. You're not shift number 3 for the day.
Right.
And I think that your experience in giving all these tours is part of the story as well. You're probably on how many home videos for people all over the world?
Well, I was just at Sun Studio, and people were taking. I wasn't in. My customers were inside. The cars parked out front, and people are standing by it and taking pictures of the caddy with them at front of Sun Studio. And so I imagine how many thousands of photographs are out there. They got home and they've got these pictures of.
See, if you were in Jamaica, you'd be charging those people $10 to take a picture of your car.
I should think about it. Well, getting back to thinking of testimonials, I just did a tour this morning, and just as we were parting company, they saying thank you. The guy, I hear this voice as I'm driving off. He goes, "It was just what we wanted."
But that's got to be gratifying.
Oh, it was great.
You're creating something that would not have been near as cool. It's like this past weekend, I went to the train that's in Collierville.
Yeah.
You actually go on the old locomotive, but then my grandson and my daughter, we went on this passenger car. It's actually a Pullman with the compartments and a little club part in the back of and wood paneling. And I said, wouldn't it be great to go back in time and ride one of those trains like that? Because they're not that way.
But that train was just sitting still.
It doesn't go. Yeah. But it is air conditioned, which I thought was kind of cool. Unlike the 55 Caddy. But people do like to experience the way things used to be.
I think
that's
so.
the genius of what you've done.
Yeah. No, I think especially in this franchise world that we live in, that everything's the same. It's
well. You've created something here, and I think it's great. We're going to be at the guest house, as we discussed on the phone, this coming Friday. You're going to be out there for
I'll
the
be out there.
candlelight vigil.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
Come by and say hi to us.
Will do.
And
Let's take a tour one of these days. Just shoot the breeze.
I would love to. In fact, we'll shoot it, and I will play the dumb tourist. And
let's do that.
Or we could do one of my tours. I'll show you all the places I've covered fires and murders over the years.
I like that one. Let's do it.
All right. Thad Pierson.
Yeah. Thank you.
American Dream Safaris.
American Dream Safari.
All right, then you can find him on Facebook. That is our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be out at the Guest House at Graceland this coming Friday. We're not doing a show on Thursday. It'll be on Friday at 3 p.m. We've got a great guest lineup, and we'll put that up on Facebook so you can tune in. And we will see you then. Thank you very much.